Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pic Gossip number 3. Tonight's topic will be a very special topic that is dear to my heart and to a lot of other people's hearts. Today is March 31st, 2016, and in the Hispanic community and pretty much in the music community, it is a day that is marked in tragedy. But let's begin with this. On March 26th, 1995, Eazy-E died in Los Angeles, California at the age of 30. His death was felt all around the hip-hop and rap community. However, a few days later, another singer would be taken from the music industry. That singer's name was Selena. Selena Quintanilla Perez was murdered on March 31st, 1995, by her fan club president Yolanda Saldivar in Corpus Christi, Texas. Selena's murder is surrounded by a lot of bizarre details and circumstances that led up to it. But tonight's show really isn't going to be about her murder. Tonight we're going to talk about her career and what she meant to the Mexican American community and to Tejano music. Tejano music, what is it? Well, Tejano music is a mixture of polka music and Spanish music. And when you blend it together, you get Tejano. Yep. Woohoo! Now, I'd also like to take this moment to point out that my usual guests aren't on tonight, but that'll be okay because I will be able to drive the show. And let's get back to the topic. Selena. Selena. All right, Selena was born April the 16th, 1971 in Lake Jackson, Texas. She is the youngest child of 3 children. She has an older brother named Avi Quintanilla, and she has a sister named Suzette. Her mother and father are Marcela, and her father is Abraham Quintanilla. Now, during the 80s, Abraham discovered his daughter's voice, and Selena y los Dinos was born, and they toured pretty much all through Texas, playing wherever they could play. Very similar to the Jackson 5, I might admit. They took whatever gig would come to them, whether it be a quince or a wedding. To our non-Spanish speaking viewers, a quince is a short version for quinceañera, which is a girl's 15th birthday, and usually it's marked by a big celebration, big party. You got your DJs, you got maybe some mariachi music. There's lots of dancing, lots of food, and lots of fun. So yeah, through the 80s, they were a family act. They were still a family act, even near the end of Selena's life. But in the late 80s, they were signed on. They got their record deal, and they started to burst into the Tejano music scene. You might know her from hits such as Como la Flor, Bidi Bidi Bam Bam, No Me Queda Más, Si Una Vez, and so many other countless hits. However, during the mid-90s, Selena was getting ready to cross over into the English-speaking market. Now, by 1995, the English-speaking market was dominated by a lot of acts, and Selena was about to go head-to-head with some of the biggest acts of the time. People such as Madonna, Whitney Houston, Janet Jackson, and Mariah Carey were going to be her competitors. However, 1995 was a bit of a quiet year for those singers. Mariah Carey was in the studio recording her album Daydream, which would have hits such as Fantasy, Always Be My Baby, and One Sweet Day. Whitney Houston was getting ready to do the movie Waiting to Exhale and recording the soundtrack for that movie. Madonna, it was a bit of a quiet year with the exception of her album that came out in 94. And Janet, let's see. And Janet Jackson was preparing an album, Runaway. So yeah, It was quiet for the beginning of the year, but by the fall of that year, things will be getting busy for those singers. Selena was recording her English music. You might know songs such as Dreaming of You, I Could Fall in Love, Getting Used to You, and Missing My Baby are some English songs she made. The only English songs she probably completed when she was alive. If Selena's crossover was going to be successful, then it would mark a huge hit. It would be a huge hit with the English speakers and with the Tejano music group, and it would also make her another Gloria Estevan, another singer who does English and Spanish music. But it was not to be. She was not to live to see the success. For on March 31st, 1995, Yolanda Saldivar, her fan club president and her friend, murdered her in cold blood at a Corpus Christi motel. Many people who had no idea who Selena was in the United States were starting to hear the news reports about the death of a Tejana superstar, the Mexican Madonna. In fact, Madonna faxed her condolences to the Quintanilla family. Mariah Carey would later go on to say that it was shocking how it happened, and at such a young age and such a young life. Whitney Houston would also commented how Selena did good things for English music. And so as you can see, by the end of the 90s, Selena was a established pop star, even if she wasn't here on Earth anymore. Now what about me? What makes Selena so important to me? I grew up on her. I grew up listening to her music. I grew up watching the movie with Jennifer Lopez, which is a very good biopic movie. It's perhaps one of my favorite biopic movies that I've seen so far. I mean, Jennifer nails it. It's some of her best acting. And she looks so much like Selena. Again, I highly recommend you watch the movie. It's a very good story, and Selena's music is brilliant. Even if you don't really listen to Spanish music or if you don't speak the language, it hits the soul for me. And it might strike a chord with you. And yes, some of her English music is played during the movie. So there we have it. What does Selena mean to the Mexican American community? Well, Selena was a woman going into a very male dominated music genre. Tejano music was all about men, and women generally were not really successful. Sorry to quote the movie, but Selena did it. Broke she broke down the boundaries, and she even won a Grammy Award in 1994 for her album Selena Live. Fun fact, Whitney Houston was at that same Grammy Awards ceremony in 1994. So it's possible that Selena may have seen her and may have seen her performed I Will Always Love You, which is a very great performance. You should check that one out too. Selena, Selena. I have my mom has a lot of the magazines from that era from 1995, running from spring to about the fall of 1995 when Selena was in the headlines. They were talking about her, and they're pretty cool to look back on. We're going on 21 years now since her murder, and it's really interesting to open the magazines and see an era that's so distant now. It's actually pretty cool because in one of the magazines, it talks about how Friends, the TV show, is entering its first season. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then we get to see some of her contemporary artists. There's even in one magazine an article about making money off of dead celebrities. They talk about people such as Audrey Hepburn, who died a year before in '94, Greta Garbo, Betty Davis. Now, these are movie stars, but they also talk about Kurt Cobain and Liberace. Let's see, what else is in there? And of course, there's your usual gossip in the magazines and in the entertainment sections. There are movie stars, musicians, and big people around the time. Oh, and there's even movie reviews for what was big at the time as well. So yeah, if you have any old magazines, you should definitely crack them open and see if you can say like, oh yeah, I remember that. Of course, I wasn't born until 97, so I don't know any of the stuff that much. But again, very cool to look back on. Oh, and there's even one magazine that says it has to deal with the O.J. Simpson, one of the people who were on the case. It was Marsha Clark and who's that other guy that was working with her? It'll come back to me. Let me know in the comments. It'll come back to me for sure. But yeah, back to Selena. I think Selena would have accomplished so much had she lived. She had a voice. She really did have a voice. And I could see her, had she lived to today, she would definitely be among one of the greats. Her voice would have matured for sure. As her career went on, it probably would have even gotten better. She was so young when she died, 23. Again, uh, re-saying what Mariah Carey said, such a young life, such a young age, taken, what she could have accomplished. But what she has accomplished now is a mark on culture. Not just Mexican American culture, but American culture. She lived the American dream. Her family went from having no fame, just playing small little places, to selling out the Houston Astrodome. Selena broke the record 3 times in her career. And I really recommend people to check out the Selena's last concert. It is, although it's taglined her last concert wasn't until March 19th, I believe, in Colorado. I'm not sure. I'll look it up. But it's called the last concert because there was something about it. Just perhaps one of her best performance of her career. I had the opportunity to go to the Selena Museum many years back, and even got to meet her father, Abraham. I didn't recognize him at first because, to be truthfully honest, I was so used to seeing um, Edward James Olmos, the actor who played him. I was so used to seeing the image of him, and it took me a while to get used to seeing the real Abraham. And I was like, "That's Abraham. That's pretty cool." And the museum has her outfits. It even has the outfit from the last concert. It's a purple sequenced outfit with bell bottoms and silver boots and a top that covers a lot of her torso. And then when it's taken off, it's very revealing. It even has some of her awards, her Grammy Award, and a red Porsche that she drove. I think it was a Porsche. Overall, the museum is a pretty cool place to visit. It even has a recording studio in it. And of course, I got to go see her grave, which is a cast of her face. And on the beach, there is a statue of her. I got to see that as well. So again, I was really connected. I felt really connected to Selena when I saw those. Last year, my mom and my sisters went to Fiesta de la Flor, which is a music festival held in her honor, which features a lot of Mexican acts and Tejano music. This year, I will be going to Fiesta de la Flor, and I probably will be going for the next few years as well. It's not just a celebration of her life; it's also a celebration of Tejano music and Mexican American music. And I'm really excited. I can't wait to go. I can't wait to see it. I know last year they were going to play the movie, but it rained so crazy they decided to cancel it. So I hope they play the movie. Um, this year because it would be cool to, sit down and watch the movie with a bunch of people. We'll comment, we'll laugh, we'll cry along with with others. Because I think Selena is a movie you gotta watch with a bunch of other people, to do what I just said. It was always fun watching Selena in class as well. I remember in Spanish class we watched the movie Selena, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm so excited! I know all the words to the movie. Like seriously, I can quote the movie for days, and I know all the music." And then at the end of the movie, this isn't really a spoiler, but she died, of course. And there's a montage of her life being played to the song "Dreaming of You." Absolutely beautiful pop song, beautiful ballad, just beautiful production of the mid '90s. And at the end of the movie, it shows her birth year and her year of death, 1971 to 1995. And one of the girls in class was like, "Oh, she was real," and I'm like, and we're like, "Yes." It's understandable. Even to this day, there are people who don't know who Selena really is. Sure, we've heard her name, but not so much of her life story. And there are definitely people out there who don't know who she is at all. Period. And that's fine. Some things Selena has some of the impact that Selena has had on the Latin American community is that she's featured on a lot of murals in cities. I know here in my city there are a lot of murals that feature Selena. There was an absolutely gorgeous one here, that just down the road from my house, which was unfortunately ruined, and then they had to repaint it, and it's not fixed. And then there's one by the gas station. But my sister doesn't really like that one because it says it makes her face look fat. But I think it's a decent uh, painting of Selena. Now then, let's delve into today. Well, we have the movie, of course, to tell Selena's life story. But what if you want to learn more about her murder, about the motives behind the crime, and who Yolanda Saldivar was? Well, I absolutely recommend you watch some documentaries on YouTube. There are plenty of them. There's even one that will show you a dramatization of the murder that's a little bit more accurate than the movie. Because in the movie, they show her being put into a stretcher with a black shirt and some jeans, but in real life, she wore a kind of like a green jogging suit, and it's a bit more graphic, but it shows us the true nature of the injuries Selena was enduring, because Selena was shot in the back, and the shot severed an artery, which contributed to her death. She pretty much bled out by the time they got to the hospital. It was pretty much too late to save Selena. And I know that there is a rumor that goes around saying that because Selena was a Jehovah's Witness, her father wouldn't allow for a blood transfusion, and that's why Selena died. But that really isn't true. The siblings have already confirmed that that isn't true. And really, it was pretty much getting too late for Selena. Her arteries were collapsed, her veins were collapsing. So even if they wanted to do a transfusion, if they were going to, they couldn't stick an IV in to do the procedure. Now, Yolanda Saldivar. Yolanda Saldivar is a very strange case. She she grew up from nothing. She came from absolutely nothing, and then she was best friends with who was about to become one of the biggest pop stars. And then, in the act of violence, in the act of hate, she lost it all. Now, according to an article, it says that Yolanda's house was filled with videotapes and CDs of Selena that she would use to entertain the guests. It even says there's like a lot of posters, a lot of magazine clippings on the wall of Selena, and there was even an altar with Selena's picture and some candles. That's that's obsession. I don't know about you, but that's obsession. During the trial, Yolanda insisted that it was an accident and that she was trying to kill herself, but killed Selena accidentally. I'm gonna let you watch the documentaries, just to determine that yourself. Yolanda received life in prison with the eligibility for parole in 2025, 30 years after the crime. So Yolanda still has about 9 more years left. Yeah, 9 more years to today left. And I really don't think she's gonna get the parole. She committed a crime and a murder. She took away Selena, and even if she did get parole, she probably really wouldn't make it out in the real world anymore. In fact, the Mexican mafia were very upset that she killed Selena, and a lot of gangs in the Mexican mafia started putting uh, started putting bets on who would kill Yolanda first. Who's not to say that one of these bets might be revived in 9 years or so if she does get out. But from the way things are, I'm not sure she'll be getting out. Texas, y'all, Texas. Back to Selena. Selena was a very beautiful woman. I mean, you should Google pictures of her. She was very, very beautiful. She had an exquisite figure. She dressed well. She she took part in a lot of fashion, and she absolutely worked her fashion to her advantage. Sure, she was Jehovah's Witness, but she knew she had a sexy side to her, and she used that with her bustiers. Sure, she was sexy, but she appealed to families and, you know, family friendly music, love songs, for the most part. She was called the Mexican Madonna. So, what are your thoughts about Selena? Do you like her music? Have you seen the movie with Jennifer Lopez? Or is this your first time hearing about Selena? If so, I hope you take time to listen to some of her songs. If you're an English speaker, you're more than welcome to listen to her English music, but you're also more than welcome to listen to her Spanish music, which can be fun to dance to and very nice to listen to. This has been Jason from the Pic Tribe. The Pic Tribe. Remember to catch our main shows where we talk about controversy and touchy subjects that are, and we give our politically incorrect views. And if you're offended, then get out. No, I'm just kidding. You can stay, but you can stay and try to debate us if you want to. You're more than welcome to. Because after all, if you can bring a good debate with not getting too emotional, then welcome. But other than that, this concludes Pick Gossip, and I hope to do this again next week. And I hope to have my very good friends with me. Until next time.